On a warm summer morning, Luca walked slowly along the sidewalk, his sneakers grazing the asphalt as he absent-mindedly kicked a small rock along the way. He was 11 years old, school had just ended, and an entire summer stretched out before him like a blank canvas, ready to be filled with new experiences and adventures. But despite the free time and freedom that summer promised, Luca couldn't shake a deep sense of loneliness. Before continuing, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell. The sun was high in the sky, casting a warm golden light on the quiet and silent streets of the city. His parents were always busy with work, often leaving him home alone. His friends had also left for vacation, each one involved in their own summer adventures away from the city. Luca felt like the only one left in a silent world, with only the distant hum of traffic and the singing of birds to keep him company. As he turned the corner of a quiet, shady street, something caught his eye. An elderly woman, bent under the weight of 2 large shopping bags, was walking slowly along the sidewalk. Her steps were slow and uncertain. Each movement seemed to require immense effort. Luca stopped for a moment, watching her with concern. The bag seemed far too heavy for a woman her age. Without thinking twice, Luca approached her with a determined step. "Ma'am, can I help you with the bags?" he asked, in a gentle and shy voice. The woman, surprised by his offer, looked at him for a moment as if she were not used to receiving help. Then, with a tired smile, she nodded. "That would be very kind of you, thank you," she replied gratefully. Luca picked up one of the bags and couldn't help but grimace at its unexpected weight. "Wow, they're really heavy," he observed, trying to lighten the moment with a smile. "Where are you going?" he asked. The lady pointed to a building nearby. "I live in that building over there, the one with the blue curtains. It's not far." They walked together in silence for a few moments, Luca holding the bag tightly. As they walked, the boy couldn't help but look at the lady with curiosity. She was small and frail, probably in her 70s, with strands of white hair escaping from under an old blue hat. Her face was weathered, but there was something special in her eyes, a spark of vitality that despite everything seemed intact. Once they reached the building with the blue curtains, the lady stopped and looked at him with a sweet and grateful expression. "Thank you so much," she said, her voice shaking a little with emotion. "I don't know what I would have done without your help today." Luca, a little embarrassed, smiled shyly. "It wasn't a problem," he replied. "I'm glad I could help you." With a slow, deliberate gesture, the lady reached into her coat pocket and pulled out a small object. "Here," she said, handing him what appeared to be an ancient coin. "It's just a small token of gratitude for your kindness today." Luca took the object delicately. It was a small wooden coin, worn by time with intricate carvings along the edges. The wood was smooth and polished, as if it had been held in his hands for years. "I can't accept it," Luca protested, feeling that the object must have some special value. But the lady smiled softly. "It's important," she said in a calm voice, "but not in the way you think. Maybe one day it will bring you luck." Luca thanked her and put the coin in his pants pocket, feeling a little confused. The woman greeted him with a last kind smile before disappearing behind the door of her apartment. As Luca walked home, he couldn't shake the feeling that the coin was special, as if it carried a secret that had yet to be revealed. In the days that followed, the coin occupied his thoughts. Every night he placed it on the nightstand next to his bed, and often found himself staring at it, trying to decipher the meaning of the engravings. What did the lady really mean with those enigmatic words, and why had she given him such a special wooden coin? One afternoon, Luca decided to do some research. He turned on his computer and typed in a description of the coin, hoping to find some information. But after going through page after page of results, he found nothing. There was no mention of wooden coins with such intricate carvings. Every site mentioned ancient metal coins, but none resembled the one he had in his hands. Frustrated, Luca thought about turning to his grandfather. Luca's grandfather was a man who loved history and antiquities, and the boy knew that if anyone could help him solve the mystery of the coin, it was him. So one afternoon, he showed up at his door with the coin in his pocket. "Grandpa, can I ask you something?" Luca said, knocking on the door. His grandfather greeted him with his usual warm smile. "Sure, come in," he replied, leading him toward the study. Once inside, surrounded by old books and artifacts collected over the years, Luca took out the coin and handed it to his grandfather. "Can you tell me something about this?" he asked hopefully. Grandfather took the coin, examining it carefully in the dim light of the room. "It's not a coin in the traditional sense," he said after a moment's thought. "It looks more like a symbol, something that represents an idea or a tradition." "A symbol of what?" Luca asked, his interest now fully captured. His grandfather shook his head. "I'm not sure," he replied thoughtfully. "It could be from a very ancient time, perhaps from a culture that believed in the connection between the physical world and something greater and spiritual." Those words only increased Luca's curiosity. The coin was not just an old piece of wood, but carried with it a deeper meaning. "Maybe you should talk to the lady again," suggested his grandfather. "She might tell you more about her story." The next day, Luca headed back to the apartment of the lady he had helped. He had a strange feeling that there was much more to discover. When he arrived, the lady greeted him with a smile and invited him in. "I've been thinking a lot about this coin," Luca began, taking it out of his pocket. "Where did it come from, and why did you give it to me?" The lady took the coin in her hands and turned it gently, as if recalling old memories. "This coin has been passed down in my family for generations," she explained in a calm voice. "Not for its material value, but for what it represents." "It represents a connection," she continued. "A connection between the past and the present, between people and generations. My grandmother told me that this coin always found its way to the right person, someone who would understand its true meaning." "But why me?" Luca asked, still incredulous. "I'm just a boy." The lady smiled softly, her eyes full of wisdom. "Because, Luca, you have a kind heart, and somehow the coin chose you, as it chose each of us before you." Luca was silent for a moment, considering her words. The coin wasn't just an ancient, worthless object. It was a symbol of something much greater. "I'll take care of it," he said with determination. "I promise. Thank you so much." The lady looked at him fondly. "I know you will," she replied. As Luca rose to leave, he felt a new awareness within him, a responsibility he had never felt before. The coin was not just a piece of wood. It was a legacy that needed to be passed down. As he walked home, he felt the weight of the coin in his pocket, no longer oppressive but full of meaning. He knew that his adventure was not over, but that it was only the beginning of a journey, one that would change the way he saw the world. Did you like this story? Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching the video till the end, and see you next story.